Alright, so Wrestle for Fun has been asking for a while now, and you're getting your wish, bud. I'm going to show you how to make brigadeiros. The concept behind this is very simple. We're taking sweetened condensed milk and turning it into chocolate caramel. So we're going to start off by combining some melted butter with the sweetened condensed milk on medium heat. Once you've got those two mixed together, add in some cocoa powder. And that's all you're going to need for the caramel. 10 minutes or so constantly stirring and your mixture should thicken. You're going to want to transfer to a greased plate to chill in the fridge for about an hour, and then the only other thing we're adding to these are sprinkles. The caramel should have solidified enough at this point to be easy enough to work with your bare hands. It'll still be a little sticky, but you should be able to roll it around in the palm of your hands without too much of a mess. Quick toss in the sprinkles and you've got yourself a brigadeiro. This was actually my first time making them. The recipe was really easy to follow. I highly recommend trying it. If you're not a chocolate fan, just skip the cocoa powder and you'll still get a very similar product. These are great for the holidays. The total cook and prep time was like 30 minutes, and I promise you're gonna like what you end.
What's for dinner?
On my dad's side of the family, we are Native American. One of the things I look forward to most was having Navajo tacos, or Indian tacos as she called it. I haven't had these for years. I picked up this keto wheat flour at the store. With the consistency of it, I knew this would make a great fry bread. Fry bread recipes can vary with tribe and region. I'm just using the most basic of them. 2 cups of keto wheat flour, 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon salt. Then you add just enough water to make a dough and let it sit out for about an hour. Form these into patties with your hands and fry in oil. I would have loved to put beans on this, but since they're high in carbs, I just use a few taco ingredients. These were so good I could barely tell the difference between the original.
Here's a side potato dish. I promise it's not mashed potatoes. Bring a cup and a half of half and half, 4 smashed cloves of garlic, and a tablespoon of salt to a simmer. Shut off the heat and cover. Meanwhile, peel 4 russet potatoes. Pour the garlic-infused cream into a bowl and mandolin your potatoes over the cream. Cut parchment paper to fit into an oven-safe rectangle or square-shaped dish, leaving overhang on all sides. Spray, then begin layering your dish with potatoes, salt, pepper, and shredded Gruyere cheese. Continue layering these 4 ingredients until you've reached the top. Pour the remaining cream over, cover, and bake at 350 for 2 hours. Cut a piece of cardboard to fit on the top, wrap with foil, and compress with weights. Refrigerate for a minimum of 6 hours. Loosen the sides, flip on a cutting board, remove the parchment, and cut off the edges. Then cut into smaller, even sections. In a lightly oiled pan on medium-high heat, sear all sides of your sections until browned and crispy. About a minute each. You've just made potato pave. Serve with compound butter as an impressive side dish. Enjoy!
No bake cookies. Butter, salt, sugar, milk, cocoa powder, unsweetened. Mix it. Bring it to a boil at medium-high heat. Now that it's at a full boil, we're going to allow it to boil without stirring for 60 seconds. Turn the heat off. Vanilla. Peanut butter. Mix it. Add half of your oats. Always get a good mix. Mix. Add the rest of the oats.
Oh, it smells so good.
Got a minute. Okay, now we're going to drop them. No bake cookie.
The best item on Taco Bell's menu are their Cinnabon Delights, so today we make them at home and even better. We're going to start off with some yeast dinner roll dough, and this is my favorite brand. You let them thaw and double in size, then you'll cut them in half and roll them into small bowls like this. Now we'll combine cream cheese, heavy cream, unsalted butter, powdered sugar, and vanilla extract to make our filling. Now it's time to fry. Once your oil is hot enough, you're going to drop the dough in. Make sure to press them down and flip them halfway so that they brown evenly. Then you're going to roll them in our cinnamon sugar mixture, and if you have trouble getting it to adhere, just roll it in some butter and then roll it in the cinnamon sugar mixture. Then just poke a hole, stuff it with our filling, and
if you take any recipe from my page, let it be this one. You're going to take flatbreads, you're going to lay them down on parchment paper, just put a little bit of oil on top, just a little bit. I'm doing avocado oil. Take some pizza sauce, marinara sauce, anything you have really. Just put a little bit on. I'm going in with a lot of mushrooms because mushrooms and like just vegetables in general are our favorite. Next thing I'm doing is I'm just slicing up some spinach. You can totally put whole leaves on there too. slicing up some onion. I'm gonna put that spinach on there. Next thing, I'm just taking mozzarella. You can do shredded mozzarella. I'm taking fresh sliced mozzarella, putting some garlic, putting that onion that y'all saw me slicing, and you're gonna put this in at 425, and I leave mine in for about 15 minutes. Slice it up, it's super crispy, and then go in with some balsamic.
Don't worry, Leslie, I've got you covered. I will show you how to make the perfect pastry. 100 grams of cold unsalted butter. Sift over 70 grams of icing sugar. And then a little lemon zest and some vanilla bean paste. And now you're going to beat it until it's smooth. It's about 3 minutes. Once it's smooth, pour in 50 grams of egg yolk, 200 grams of plain flour, and then mix on a low speed until it's crumbly. Like this. Take about a baseball-sized piece of dough, and we're going to roll it in between 2 silicone mats. By doing it this way, what we're basically replicating is a dough sheeter, which is a very expensive piece of bakery equipment that rolls dough very evenly and thin. Once it's nice and thin, put it in the freezer, and we're going to repeat with a second sheet. And these are the game changer for pastry. Perforated tart rings. You don't need any baking beans, and they create the most even bake to your pastry. Lightly grease the ring molds and cut out the bases. Then with your second piece of dough, cut out long strips. Then lift those strips of dough into the tart shell. Use your thumb just to join the pastry together. And freeze them for 20 minutes. Trim off all that excess pastry, and then we're going to bake them at 170. After 20 minutes, give the pastry a light egg wash. And then bake again until golden. And then you're left with a perfectly golden tart shell. There you go.
Let's make homemade Yorkshire puddings. Oh, bang. Grab a bowl, plain flour, about 140 grams, 4 eggs, and start whisking. Then you want 200 ml of milk, smack that in, and then mix it. Basically, you just don't want any lumps. And leave this to rest for like 20 minutes. Grab some muffin tins, then you want to fill in with like a few mil of oil at the bottom. And then bang this in a 200-degree oven for like 20 minutes. Take your tins out, oil should be really hot. Grab your mix and just spoon it in. Now bang these in the oven 200 degrees for like 25 minutes. Do not open the oven door. And then take them out. Look how fluffy they are. Now each one of these is about 150 calories and about 5 grams of protein. So Yorkshire puddings, mate, they're sound. Ooh, fluffy. Yes.
You're telling me that 3 million people want to get this recipe? Let's go. 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup cacao powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, and of course, salt. Preheat your air fryer or oven. Mix that all together. To a pan, add 1 stick of butter and add 1 cup of chocolate chips. And mix it all together until perfect. Add 1/2 cup of white sugar. People wonder why my ass is big. Mix that all together. At this point, you can actually take it off the flame. Let it cool for like 5 minutes. Add 3 eggs. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's crunchy. Mix it all. Now just add your wet to dry. Mix. We're gonna add more chocolate chips. Stick an Oreo inside. Bake them for about 12 minutes.
This guy's been asking for fancy oatmeal for I don't know how long now, so alright, fancy oatmeal.
Step 1, in a pot on low heat, add honey and a big squeeze of orange juice. Cook it until it's caramelized and it looks like this. Take a pear, peel it, cut it into irregular shapes. Into another pot, add butter. The butter is melted, add pears. When the pears are roasted and the butter is brown, add honey, a little bit of cinnamon, 1 cup water, a 1/2 cup milk, a 1/2 cup oat milk, pinch of salt. When it starts to simmer at 1 cup oats, the oats are cooking, grab another pear, slice it. Make sure you work the starches.
I'm just kidding, that's risotto.
Right at the end, chopped hazelnuts. Start plating. Pears go on. More hazelnuts. Blueberries. Little bit of butter.
Okay, shocker, I'm back with another recipe, but if you guys like crepes and you want a healthier version of them, this one is for you. It's so good.
So for these crepes, you could make them either sweet or savory, but I'm gonna make like a sweet dessert one. So what you're gonna need is these egg white with cauliflower like crepes. You can get these at Costco. I'm not sure where else. They sound kind of weird, promise they're not. They're really good. And then we're gonna use vanilla Greek yogurt, obviously because there's like a sweet one, but you could use just plain Greek yogurt if you're making a savory one. And then I'm gonna load it with fruit. So I'm gonna use blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. So all you're gonna do is take your Greek yogurt and just do a big serving and just like smoothen it out over the crepe like this, and then water. And then just obviously wash your fruit and just load on the fruit like into it. Okay, and then once you have your fruit on, it looks so pretty. We're gonna spice it up actually. We're gonna add a little bit of whipped cream, Because why the heck not? And then you just have to roll it up. Okay, this literally looks so cute though. What? And then just roll it up into a burrito. Mine was way too full, so it's like busting at the seams, but look how yum. I literally have to eat it with a fork because it's so messy, but oh my god.
I don't know why Brussels sprouts get such a bad rep. They're one of my favorite vegetables, and if you cook them right, they'll be one of your favorites too. You can do this with or without bacon. I'm going to chop up a couple pieces and throw it on the lined baking sheet. You're going to want to spread this up as much as you can so that all those pieces get nice and crispy. I'm going to toss that with my Brussels sprouts, some ghee. If you don't have ghee, oil is fine, and salt and pepper. I face all the Brussels sprouts down so they get nice and crispy and throw them in the oven at 425 for about 30 minutes. I like mixing mine with a little bit of balsamic vinegar at the end. It is the best part. If you guys make these, be sure to tag me and hit that follow button for more easy recipes.
If you find yourself with a lot of leftover mashed potatoes, here's a tasty recipe you might want to try. Start by adding your leftover mashed potatoes to a bowl with shredded mozzarella, an egg, flour, chopped chives, chopped parsley, and salt and pepper. If your mashed potatoes are on the creamier side, add in a little extra flour. Mix this all together, then use an ice cream scoop to portion balls, then use your hands to form them into patties. Coat each patty in breadcrumbs, making sure all sides are completely covered. Then fry them in canola oil over medium-high heat for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Serve warm for optimal cheese.
If you're looking for a showstopper of a pie, look no further. Here's day 4 of 10 Days of Thanksgiving Pies, Creme Brulee Pumpkin Pie Edition. Here's my pie crust recipe again. There's a link in my bio to it as well. 2.5 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 cup of butter cubed. Mix it up, add 6 to 8 tablespoons of ice cold water. Again, go to the link in my bio. It has a video too that explains it much better. That makes enough for 2 pie crusts, and this filling makes enough for 2 pies. You want 1 big can of pumpkin puree or 2 cans of the smaller pumpkin puree, 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk, 4 eggs, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons nutmeg, a teaspoon ginger, a teaspoon salt. Mix it together. Make your pie crust like so, and then put it in the freezer for a second, and then put your filling in the oven at 425 for 15 minutes, and then 350 for 35. Creme brulee, add some sugar, torch it, and keep doing that until this.
Okay, so if you're looking for an appetizer that's sure to please absolutely anybody that you serve it to, you're going to need to make this jalapeno pepper dip. It comes together with ingredients you most likely already have in your fridge. And other than chopping your jalapenos, it requires absolutely zero prep work. You're going to take 1 block of cream cheese, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, half a cup of bacon, half a cup of chopped jalapenos with a little bit of the juice, and the secret ingredient that makes this extra tasty is half a packet of ranch seasoning mix. You're going to transfer it to an oven-safe dish, and then top with more shredded cheese, bacon, and jalapenos. Cook it at 350 for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the top gets nice and bubbly. And the best part about this is that you can serve it with whatever you want to. You can use crackers or tortilla chips or even vegetables. My personal favorite way to eat this is with tortilla.